This is Chinese Naval Warship 552. You are violating China's territorial airspace. Leave now. Leave immediately.
I am watching a routine patrol turn into something bigger. I am seeing how one radio warning, one sharp command in the sky, can carry the weight of entire nations behind it. I am not just looking at an isolated moment, I am looking at a pattern forming in real time. Because what happened above Scarborough Shoal in March 2026, it wasn't loud, it wasn't explosive, but it was clear. A Philippine aircraft enters the airspace above contested waters. A Chinese voice cuts in. A warning is issued. A message is sent. And just like that, a routine patrol becomes a geopolitical signal. I am starting to understand something here. In today's world, power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just speaks calmly and expects you to listen. I am aware that this moment didn't come out of nowhere. I am connecting it to everything that came before. Because when you step back, you see it. The repetition. The rhythm. In January 2026, a similar encounter. Another aircraft warned away. Before that, ships were shadowed, blocked, pressured. Before that, water cannons. Close calls.
This is China Coast Guard Vessel 5201.
Near collisions. I am realizing this isn't random behavior. This is a system, a progression, from presence to pressure to enforcement. And now, it's not just happening at sea, it's happening in the air. I am seeing how control slowly expands, one domain at a time. I am looking closer at what actually happened. The Chinese side calls it an intrusion. Says the Philippine aircraft illegally entered its airspace. They respond with both naval and air assets. Not chaotic, not rushed. Measured. Deliberate.
Tapos pag ano na lang na, after. Tama, bilis ang takbo na ito eh.
I am noticing how controlled it feels, like both sides understand the boundaries, but are constantly testing them. The Philippine side stays quiet at first. No immediate response. And that silence, it adds weight, because sometimes what isn't said matters just as much as what is. I am starting to see that this isn't just about reaction, it's about signaling. Every move is calculated, every message is intentional. I am grounding myself in geography, because without it, none of this makes sense. Scarborough Shoal sits near Luzon, well within what the Philippines considers its exclusive economic zone. I am picturing it not as a dot on a map, but as a real place. Fishermen, boats, early mornings, long days. This isn't abstract, this is livelihood, this is survival. And at the same time, I am seeing the strategic layer. This area isn't just valuable for fish, it's valuable for positioning, for surveillance, for influence. And I am accepting a hard truth. While law may say one thing, presence often says another. China has maintained that presence here for years, quietly, consistently. And over time, presence starts to look like control. I am observing the two narratives. China says this is sovereignty enforcement, a defensive move, a response to provocation. From their perspective, they are protecting what is theirs. The Philippines says something different. It sees legitimate operations within its own EEZ. It points to international law.
Chinese military helicopter. You are flying too close. You are very dangerous and endangers the lives of our crew and passengers. Keep away and distance your aircraft from us. You are violating the safety standards set by the FAA and ICAO.
To the 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which rejected China's sweeping claims. I am realizing both sides are not just acting, they are telling stories. And those stories matter. Because perception shapes reality. Especially on the global stage. I am stepping back even further now. Because this isn't just about two countries. This is about the South China Sea, one of the most critical waterways in the world. I am thinking about the scale. Trillions of dollars in trade moving through these waters. Energy routes. Supply chains. Entire economies depend on stability here. And I am understanding why every small incident feels bigger than it looks. Because it doesn't stay small. It connects to something larger. I am aware of the alliances in the background. The Philippines is not isolated. There is a treaty with the United States. A commitment. A promise, at least on paper, that an attack triggers a response. I am not seeing it as immediate escalation, but I am recognizing the shadow it casts. Because every move now carries an extra layer of calculation. Not just what happens here, but who else gets involved. And that question changes everything. I am thinking about risk, not dramatic, headline-grabbing risk, but quiet, dangerous risk. The kind that builds slowly. Aircraft flying close, ships maneuvering in tight spaces, warnings given in tense moments. I am imagining how little it would take. One misread signal, one wrong turn, one decision made a second too fast. And suddenly, control is gone. I am realizing that most conflicts don't start because people want war. They start because something small spirals. And right now, the conditions for that, they exist. I am recognizing the pattern of escalation. It's not explosive. It's incremental. First you observe. Then you follow. Then you block. Then you push. Then you warn. And eventually, you enforce. I am seeing how warning and expulsion is becoming normalized. Not shocking anymore, just another step in the process. And that's what makes it powerful. Because once something becomes normal, it stops being questioned. I am shifting now, from observation to belief. I believe this is no longer about territory alone. I believe this is about control, about access, about who gets to be present and who gets pushed out. I believe that modern conflict doesn't always look like war. Sometimes it looks like persistence, like pressure applied over time, like boundaries slowly redrawn without a single shot fired. I believe we are watching that happen. I believe both sides are testing each other, not for immediate victory, but for limits. How far can you go? How much will they tolerate? Where is the line? And more importantly, will they defend it? I believe this is a contest of resolve as much as capability. Because strength isn't just about what you have, it's about what you're willing to do with it. I believe the region is entering a new phase. Not peace, not war, something in between. A constant state of tension, where every action is measured, every move is watched, every silence is analyzed. I believe this is the new normal. And now, I move to behavior. Because understanding isn't enough. Response matters. I am watching how the Philippines adjusts. More transparency, more exposure, bringing these incidents into the public eye, not hiding them, because visibility creates pressure. I am seeing how presence becomes a form of resistance, showing up, staying there, not backing down, even when pushed. I am observing how China operates. Layered presence, Coast Guard, Maritime Militia, Navy, air support when needed. I am recognizing the structure. This isn't a random deployment, this is coordinated, designed to apply pressure without crossing into open conflict. And it works, because it stays below the threshold.
菲律宾3016船，这里是中国海警3305舰。你在我舰首进行大角度转向，对我装备、人员安全造成威胁。
I am thinking about discipline now, not emotional reactions, not sudden escalations, but controlled, calculated actions. Because in this environment, discipline is power. Overreact and you escalate. Underreact and you lose ground. I am seeing how both sides are walking that line, carefully, constantly. I am reflecting on repetition, because this is where everything comes together. One incident doesn't define the situation, but repeated incidents, they shape reality, they build patterns, they create expectations. I am realizing that what we're seeing isn't a single event, it's a cycle, and cycles reinforce themselves. So I come back to where I started. I am watching, I understand, I am connecting. I am seeing how identity, belief, and behavior all play out not just in individuals but in nations. A country says, "This is ours." It believes it. It acts on it. And then it repeats until that belief becomes its default reality. And maybe that's the most important insight here.
Good morning.
This isn't just geopolitics, it's narrative conditioning at a national level. Repeated actions shaping perception. Perception shaping reality. Reality reinforcing action. Again and again. So I end with this. I am aware that this isn't war, but I am also aware that this isn't normal. I am seeing a space where every encounter carries meaning, where every warning is a signal, where every response is measured. And I am asking the question that matters most now. Not who owns Scarborough Shoal, but who is willing to enforce that claim and how far they're truly ready to go. If you found this analysis valuable, share your perspective in the comments. Your insights help deepen the conversation and sharpen our understanding of evolving regional dynamics. Thank you, and we will see you soon in our next geopolitical discussion.